In the next demo, I would like to show you an overview demo about the SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. I will start with the user management, where you can have a chance to manage the user as well as the roles. And the second concept I would like to introduce is the space management. The space is a very important concept in Data Warehouse Cloud, where it can be used for the different organization line of business. For example, maybe one space for the sales, another space for the marketing, another space for finance in this case. To create a new space, simply giving the space name and ID. Let's look at the settings in the space. In the general setting, and then where you can configure the core data, the disk usage, memory usage for the space, and then you can manage who can access this space for the member, and then you also can create a database user where you allow to connect to the OpenSQL, embedded OpenSQL in DWC. And then the connection is where you can define the integrated different data source into DWC. To create a new one, SAP have predefined 27 of connection type: SAP, non-SAP, cloud, non-cloud. And then other than that, you also can using the SAP Open Connector to connect to the third-party data source like Facebook, like Twitter, like Salesforce. And then you also can generate the data which can be using for the time dimension for the year, quarter, monthly for analyze. And then next, let's look at the data builder, where it's for the data modeling. You can create the table, the view, a graphical one, and SQL one, as well as data flow. So let's have a look at the data flow. A data flow can be you can simply look at as ELT flow, where you can having the graphical operator, join unit and projection and so on and so forth. We in one of the bookshop scenario, we would like to unit the sales order from S4HANA as well as the history sales order from S3, and then to position into local table in this case. And then the next one is the data integration monitor, where you can monitor the data integration, like the remote table or like the data flow we have just mentioned, and what is the status, when have been running, or you can schedule to run. You can schedule to run the data flow as well. And once the data model has been built, and then the business user, they can using the business builder to create a business semantic model, like a dimension or like the analytical data set in this case. And then you can build a consumption model and the perspective. Let's look at the consumption model. So the consumption model will combine the dimension and the analytical data set. In this case, we have built a book sales data set, and to combine with the time dimension as well as the book author dimension. And then I have created 4 perspectives. One perspective just for serving for one business question here. For example, the top end best-selling books of the current quarter, and then let's look at the preview the data. And then as you can see, you have only including 4 fields: the book ID, book title, and then you also have a filter in this case just adjust the specific question, top end best-selling books of the current quarter in this case. And other than the tooling And SAP also provide the content network where pre-built industrial line of business content by SAP, also from the partner as well, where you can help the partners to monetize your content. Let's look at the pre-built content by SAP. As you can see, SAP have pre-built a lot of predefined content. Let's take one of example. Is the finance model for the S4HANA cloud in this case, where you can very easy to config, to import and to config, and then you will have the model ready to using for the S4 HANA cloud for finance module in this case. Here I conclude the demo. Thank you.